Hello, I'm Colin Crooks. I'm chairman of the H4H Hospices charity. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to our event. H4H Hospices is a walk over 43 miles over 2 days, and I know that sounds strenuous and it sounds like hard work, but it is broken down into 6 shorter legs, and you can walk any distance within that you like, so you don't have to do 43 miles. You can do as little as 5 miles from Devil's Dyke down here to St Botolph's, which is the end of day 1. So you can pick and choose the distances in order to suit your ability to walk. The money that we raise, which has been around £110,000 over the last 3 years, has all gone directly to 4 hospices: St Peter St James, St Wilfrid's, the Martlets and St Barnabas. And those 4 hospices will again benefit this year from every penny that the walkers raise.
The whole idea started in Pizza Express in Chichester with Mike Harvey and the then chair of trustees of St Wilfrid's Chichester and myself were having lunch together, looking at ideas of which way we could do some fundraising for her hospice, and in the end this is what came about.
Walking is a growing hobby and occupation for people.
It's fun, it's healthy, you're raising money for a superb cause. 4 hospices, what more could you want to do?
Hospices are by their very nature fundraisers. They need to raise money and they have their own catchment areas. And this is one event where 4 particular hospices, and in particular their fundraisers, have worked closely together to help maximise the amount of benefit that we can all get out of it.
Events like this are hugely important for us, not just in terms of raising the money for the hospice and the contribution that makes, but also in raising the profile of the Martlets and all the other hospices and the work we do.
And you've got beautiful scenery to boot.
Apart from being a Rotarian, I was the district governor for this district when the whole idea was conceived. They came to me and said, what did I think in terms of an idea to spread it amongst the Rotary clubs? And I said, yeah, let's go for it. And I think it was 2 years later the first of these hikes took place. And I've been supporting it, became a trustee when Philippa bullied me, or at least persuaded me to take part in it all, and I've enjoyed it. We hiked last year.
It's vital publicity for us. It brings our work out into the wider area, which is essential for us to keep going.
Over the last 3 years we've raised over £100,000.
And just to give you an indication, to run those 4 services each year, those 4 hospices, we need around £13 million.
They are almost entirely self-funded. They get about 10% of their funding from the government. They really do the NHS's work for them.
So it's a really, really challenging thing to do.
Quite a lot of our walkers actually walk in memory of somebody, and it's a great idea for that. And they can do it as a wake, or they can just do it very privately.
Mum had cancer 4 or 5 years ago, and she went into St Peter and St James and died a couple of years ago. And for the last 3 years now, I've done the hike to raise funds for them.
We lost a very good friend about 3 weeks ago, a very young girl, to cancer. So we'd like to make a contribution for the hospices, to help the next person really. So quite poignant this year for us.
St Peter and St James Hospice is based over in Chailey, so Lewis is in our area that we serve. Just to tell you a little bit about our hospice, we need £4,000 every single day just to run our vital services. And events like this really help us to do that.
I've collared just about everyone I could find, really.
This is the sort of conditions that a lot of people enjoy being out in, surprisingly enough, because if it's too hot or too cold or too wet, it is a misery. But when it's warm and it's a bit damp, people don't really mind being out in it. They know they're out here for a really good cause.
It's basically a good idea to get out, have a good fun, raise a bit of money. It's all good. It's a bit of a laugh to go out in the great outdoors, really.
It's very interesting when you're out walking. Everybody says hello to everybody else, and yet you know that if you bumped into the same people in town, then everybody just walked by and without saying anything.
I'd say it's a fantastic social event. It's a great doggy event as well. Probably the only one with a doggy in a buggy.
We were driving around Worthing and we saw a poster by the roundabout, and it's our wedding anniversary today, and I just happened to notice the date, and I said, oh look, we could do that on our wedding anniversary. Not really expecting Rose to say yes, but she did.
The first year I have 2 younger brothers, and the first year was with one of them and the second year was with the other, and this year it's with my nephew who's 11.
So I'd like to congratulate those people who've given their time and effort to be on the walk to raise money for the hospice, and wish them a very fine day Although I know it's raining at the moment, I'm sure it will be a fine day in other ways.
Number 264, that's me.
We did it last year for the first time.
Last year we walked from Lewis to St Bothards. We didn't have enough time for a cup of tea and stop, so we thought this year we'll make the stop the other end. So we're going to walk from here, the 8 miles to St Bothards, have a cup of tea in the church and a cake, and then we'll walk back to here, the other 8 miles, so 16 in total.
It's hard to believe as we stand here that we're in the middle of August. This time last year when we had the event, standing on the top here at Devil's Dyke, we were able to see the air display going on at Shoreham, and now we could barely see about 3 or 4 feet in front of us. I have to say, I think this is so typical of people generally in supporting events. You know, once they make the commitment to turn out and do things, they do it. Somehow it's sort of more of a challenge and more of an achievement, and I think in some ways it will make it more memorable, because walkers will be saying, do you remember that weekend that we sort of ploughed through the rain across the downs? And I'm sure it'll stay in the memory for a long time. Costs just over £5 million a year, and £5 million a year now to run the martlets, and of that £5 million we have to raise over £3 million a year. We work with Rotary closely throughout the year alongside all the other hospices. The financial contribution that's made every year, as I say, is very valuable, but also the publicity that the event attracts is equally important as well. Our work's very similar obviously to all the other hospices in the way we care for our patients at the end of life. We have an inpatient unit with 18 beds, we have a day hospice, we have a family support service as well, and we also operate hospice in the home for those patients who would prefer to remain in their own homes.
We're standing here at the end of day 1, and it's been cloudy and wet, but everybody is really enjoying themselves, and now the sun's starting to break through, and we've even got the air show starting just behind us. It's been a brilliant day, and all the walkers I think have thoroughly enjoyed themselves.
Plenty of support on the way over the dyke, and all the marshals are brilliant, so all the Rotary clubs do a grand job.
It's really good. We loved it. A bit windswept, but it's all for a good cause.
It's fantastic as a fundraising effort, and a really good laugh to do with, you know, with people that you like and get on with. So it's great.
When we got some views coming down the shore, it always cheers you up a bit. But no, it's good.
Yeah, it's really been fun, and I don't do it on a regular basis, but the walk was really brilliant.
It's for such a good
You don't know what you do till you try.
We've got a team from our workplace at Affinity Sutton, so we've raised, I think, just under £2,000 so far. We're hoping to get up to 3,000.
And I've really enjoyed it, and I'll do it again.
Mike Harvey got me talking on a plane coming back from Italy once. He asked me if I was to get involved in something like this, how would I go about it? So I told him, and he said, you got the job.
So far in 3 years we've raised £112,000. This year we hope to add £40,000 or £50,000 to it. We've got nearly 300 walkers walking along the route this year. Some of them walking all the way, some just doing as they are from this start, one leg from here to Goodwood, which is 12 miles. The ones arriving here shortly will have walked the 14 miles from Stenning. They started between 8 and 10 this morning at Stenning.
Anything to get people out in the country, it benefits them, and also it benefits the hospices that they're raising money for.
We do like to get out in the fresh air and have a good walk.
That there is something that's going to happen to probably 1 in 3, I believe, I think it is at the moment, and it is important that we carry on and let people be aware that money needs to be raised to support these causes.
Which makes a fantastic difference and helps us provide the care that we need for our patients and their families.
I'm here to walk from Amberley to Goodwood in aid of the St Wilfrid's Hospice at Chichester.
We did the midnight walk, not this year but last year, for St Barnabas, and this was incorporated in St Barnabas HSBC, and they're going to match whatever we collect.
We're fortunate in that we do get some government funding. We get about 30p in every pound, but the rest of the money to pay for these services come from people in the community, from businesses, and from great organisations like H4H Hospices putting on events and encouraging people to raise sponsorship money. So without people like you guys, really, we just couldn't exist and we couldn't help people.
I'm to cheer them up after their long journey down the hill. they may be tired and everything, so they see this clown and puts a smile on their face.
Goodwood Racecourse, what a way to finish. Glorious Goodwood, and it's a glorious finish for the walk.
It's a great opportunity to finish with a razzmatazz, bit of jazz, bit of music and hamburgers, the beer that's sponsored by Fuller's Beers. Everybody gathers here at the end and celebrates the end of a 2-day big charity walk, and the money goes straight to the hospices.
And what a real sense of achievement. You see these people coming over the line now, some of whom have done the full 43 miles of the walk over 2 days. What a tremendous effort. And all credit to them. And I hope that their sponsors have been generous, because they certainly deserve it.
It's been a long weekend. It's been great fun. It's been a challenge. It's been time to think. It's been great. It's been good.
We had a good time, yes. We did actually. I did it last year, and this year was quite different because it was much more sort of in the woods and in the trees. It's very pretty. It was quite a different part of Sussex, I suppose. So yeah, it was really good.
The best bit, I think, is just walking through the open fields and just seeing all the trees and the animals and wildlife, the birds flying around. It's great.
Roughly in the last 3 years, we've had £100 per walker. So if you see 400 walkers, that's £40,000. What's in it for them? Well, good exercise, lovely South Downs Way, a lot of fun. It's always the weekend before the bank holiday. Sign up now.
Those that have walked it must have had a real thrill. Thank you to them, thank you to the hospices, thank you to all the Rotarians that have helped, and all the others. Brilliant.
If you've not done it before, then just pop on your walking shoes, go out and give it a go. There's a load of different legs available, so you can do just 5 miles, or you can do the big 2-day challenge.
And you're going to have an awful lot of fun doing it.
It's fantastic.
I will be back again next year.